and MOUNJARO. This is some of the most massive news that I think I've ever had the misfortune of having to share on this channel. So if you would quickly hit that like, hit that bell, hit that sub, but definitely hit that thumbs up notification as you're coming in here. This is breaking news. Dave Ricks is the CEO of Eli Lilly, and he's over at the Paris Olympics and gave a interview to Bloomberg and is telegraphing something that I think will end compound tirzepatide as we know it. You'll have to bear with me as this is just late breaking information. So let me give you the backdrop for what's happening as we do this sort of emergency live stream. So Eli Lilly CEO Dave Ricks told Bloomberg today that it's their intention to report Zepbound as not in an FDA shortage to the FDA. So here's what that means. That ultimately means that what Eli Lilly is saying now is that Zepbound is no longer in an FDA shortage. Put it in the comments if you've had problems finding your dose, and put where you are in the country, right? So here's the deal. There's 503B pharmacies are able to make compounded medications in scale so that people can get compound tirzepatide if they can't get the brand name. They can circumvent the patents because of the FDA shortage. The problem with the FDA shortage list is that it is a self-reporting tool. In other words, that shortage relies on the drug companies to accurately report their shortages. And what Eli Lilly is saying is that they will no longer be reporting that Zepbound is in shortage. We know that that's false. Put false in the chat if you believe that they're lying about the shortage of Zepbound. So he said that they're going to do this within the next couple of days, that they're going to remove Zepbound from the shortage list. This will effectively end 503B pharmacies who can, again, make in mass quantities compounded versions of tirzepatide. So this will ultimately, almost overnight, end the ability for compound pharmacies to make compound tirzepatide. There's one little caveat to that, and that's a 503A pharmacy making individual scripts for people can still, even if there's no shortage reported, can still make a compound version mixing tirzepatide with something else. But there has to be basically a medical need that precipitates the compound, right? So in other words, you're allergic to a preservative in the brand name. You're requiring a dose that isn't offered by the brand name. These are like typically what 503A pharmacies have historically done. Like this has sort of been unprecedented what's happened with GLP-1 compounding. And so what you saw was Eli Lilly came after compounds about, or came after the source of the gray market peptides in the last 3 weeks. Now you see Eli Lilly moving to basically say that we're going to stop reporting our shortage, our medicine as being in shortage. And mind you, this is just completely fake news. Drop the fake news emoji in the chat if you are a member of the channel, because we know based upon, we have tools now, like the community has tools. Ro's tracker tool is and Ro is a sponsor now of On the Pen, but they have a tracker tool where people can self-report their shortages. We know the shortages are happening, right? The issue at hand here, and even without the tracker tool, we know based upon his content creators hearing from thousands of people that are on these medications that can't find them. So we know that it's just fake news that these drugs are not in shortage. But the problem is, hit that like button if you're just coming in here, help to increase the visibility of this video. We know that these drugs are in shortage. We know that. Put shortage in the chat if you agree with me. This is a self-reporting tool, and I don't believe, based upon my research, right, I don't believe there's any teeth behind a company reporting or not reporting accurately. I think it's a good faith policy. I'm not aware of any teeth behind, or any enforcement behind a drug company not reporting these shortages accurately. But all that to say, we know these medications are in shortage. We know even, I think what you're going to see is Eli Lilly will point to their North Carolina plants coming online. But with the amount of people that can't find their medication, with the amount of people that they sign up as new patients on Zepbound every month, there's just no way they're meeting demand. There's no way they're meeting demand. And so this to me is a despicable move, because what you're going to see is you're going to see people harmed significantly by this, in my humble opinion. Again, this is just an opinion of a guy on YouTube. I'm not a medical provider. I'm not a professional in this industry. I'm just a user of these medications and an advocate for accessibility to these medications that change people's lives. And when a drug company cannot manufacture enough drug to meet demand, we have legislation to ensure that we have infrastructure in the United States to make sure those patients are taken care of. And we rely on the good faith of these pharmaceutical companies to accurately report their shortages. These medications are still in shortage. People still cannot find their medication. And this is an absolutely despicable move on the part of Eli Lilly. There's just no other way to say it. I have been a staunch supporter of Eli Lilly, of the fact that they have innovated a medication that is changing people's lives, that has created such unprecedented demand that it can help so many people, that many people need the drug that they can't make enough of it. But now they're coming after those patients directly, basically by saying that the drug is out of shortage, which I just think is an absolute lie. I don't believe that it's true. And the reason that I don't believe it's true is because people come onto my channel every day, thousands of people between the Facebook group, the TikTok channel, the YouTube channel, and tell me that they can't find their branded medication. Listen, I'm an advocate for everyone who needs this medication to be on the branded version of these medications. That is the ideal scenario. But we actually have legislation in this country that created 503B pharmacies for a reason, and that is so compounded versions, I don't even know that that's the right term, but copycat versions of these medications can be made and provided to patients who need them in the face of shortages. That is literally why 503B pharmacies exist. And if Eli Lilly succeeds at taking this medication off the shortage list, 503B pharmacies lose their ability to make these medications. And so that is, I just find myself extremely disappointed today. Extremely disappointed in Eli Lilly. Of course, I've made a TikTok video about this. I was immediately given a community guidelines violation just for talking about this, which to me is also despicable. The throttling of information, good information. Make sure you go to onthepen.com. Make sure you go to onthepen.com and sign up for email alerts. I've been covering the 503B pharmacy and 503A pharmacy for 6 months now, at least, because this is a really important topic to the topic of accessibility, is the accessibility and the availability of compound medications. So I'm going to go to the chat a little bit because I feel like I've ranted and raved for long enough on this emergency live stream. Welcome. If you're just getting in here, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure that you spread this news far and wide. Share this video somewhere where it might be helpful to somebody else also. But go into the chat. Like Sue said, for anybody just joining, Lilly is saying that Zepbound, Eli Lilly CEO Dave Ricks told Bloomberg today that it's their intention to remove Zepbound from the FDA shortage list, which would ultimately end the ability of 503B compound pharmacies to make compound versions of the medication accessible. So that's what we're talking about today. Oliver said these compound pharmacies are doing very good. Tirzepatide, there's a chance that I lost more weight on compound than the NABE brand. I mean, again, 503B pharmacies exist for this reason, so that you can have accessibility to the active pharmaceutical ingredient and the brand name of these medications in the face of unprecedented shortages. And those are Eli Lilly's words. And also, in Eli Lilly's words, Dave Ricks, the same CEO who is now telling us that Zepbound is going off shortage, was just on it was maybe the last earnings call or the earnings call before that. I can't remember if it was Dave Ricks or Anat Ashkenazi, who was the CFO at the time, basically said that these shortages are going to persist into 2026 until orforglipron comes out. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that this medication is going off of shortage. This is an absolute steamy pile of dew. And this is, I mean, I've never been more frustrated as a content creator, as somebody who advocates for accessibility to these medications, as somebody who's devoted a great deal of their lives to help people understand these medications that can change their lives. I've never been more frustrated. I've never been more irritated with news than I am with this news today, where Dave Ricks apparently has shared with Bloomberg News that the Zepbound medication will no longer be reported as in shortage. It said it's their intention to exit that program. Exit the program is interesting language to use. Exit that program was, I believe, the quote. And really, I think this is a play to shut down compounds. I really do think that that's their goal. They would love to be able to shut down compounds. And this coming from a company who sells every single pen that they have the capacity to manufacture, they sell. And that will be true well into 2025. It'll be true well into 2026. There's a market of over 150 million people with obesity just in the United States alone. And as we know, they just opened up the markets in China to MOUNJARO and Zepbound. They opened up the markets in India to MOUNJARO. They have opened up some of the world's largest markets to these medications when they can't even make enough to meet demand in the United States. And now we're going to shut down compounds. My friends, this news is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. That's the news. I'm going to jump off because I don't really have time. I wanted to come in and share this news with you. Make sure that you hit that like button before you go. And then drop a comment in the chat and let me know how you're feeling about this news. Let me know if you're as upset as I am. I've got to take a breath. So many of you, compound medications have been your lifeline to this medication. Compounds have been your lifeline to the care that you deserve. I hope that I'm wrong about all this. I hope that Mr. Ricks misspoke. I hope that my understanding about how all this works is not accurate. But this is a dark day for accessibility, something that we have advocated for on this channel for a long, long time. I appreciate you. We're going to get through this together. We are going to continue to advocate together, and we're going to continue to be loud about this together. And in the best way that you can advocate right now is to share this video into a Reddit forum, share it into a Facebook group that you're in, text it to 20 of your friends that are on this medication, email it to somebody, send it. Send this video out so that we know, because my friends, this is already getting throttled on the other channels. I don't know what YouTube's going to do with it. All I know is that when there's information out that drug companies don't like, it gets shut down pretty quick. And so I don't even know. Who knows? But the best thing you can do is share this. On thepen.com is where you can always find my content. And we will keep you posted on this news story as it evolves. The story of Eli Lilly removing Zepbound from the FDA shortage program, which could put compound tirzepatide in real peril. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the best part of what we do at onthepen.com. Stay with us. Hit that subscribe button so that we know all the latest and greatest updates on this, and we will catch you